Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good evening, I'm Jen Ah. Thank you for joining us for 7 at 7 p.m. on this Monday, February 22nd. Now let's go to our top stories sponsored by Carnegie Heights. A Las Vegas judge sentences the woman for driving under the influence and killing a man back in January of 2020. The victim's loved ones demanding justice. Review-Journal's James Schaefer has the latest.
A court hearing was held today for Sierra Braher, who was charged in a deadly wrong-way crash from last year. On January 17, 2020, Sierra Braher was arrested for reportedly driving drunk and causing a crash at the McCarran Airport connector that killed 45-year-old Christopher Garcia. Christopher's wife, Maribel, spoke during the hearing about the impact of loss.
The impact of his life, as much as his death, has been profound. I can only hope that my statement gives you an inkling of the man he was. The utter loss that we have endured and will truly be taken into account when sentencing the defendant.
Sierra Braher had pled guilty 2 months ago. Braher said in court, "No expression of remorse, guilt, or sorrow will ever show how horrible I feel having caused this accident." The judge presiding found Braher guilty of driving under the influence resulting in death and sentenced her to 5 to 15 years in the Nevada Department of Corrections.
Thanks, James, for that report. In other news, we're just weeks away from letting students back into the classroom. The Clark County School District prepared its buildings for hybrid learning by marking out 6 feet distances with yellow spray paint and setting up classrooms for in-person and remote learning. The district hopes to have enough safety measures in place to keep both students and staff safe when they reopen on March 1st. CCSD leaders say the start of hybrid learning has them feeling both excited and anxious. And after months of COVID isolation and online venting, authorities in southern Nevada are aware of the broadening spectrum of extremism. Renee Summerhour explains. Renee?
Jen, the Southern Poverty Law Center said that the proliferation of extremist internet platforms that has allowed people to engage with potentially violent movements, but without being a card-carrying member of any group. They cited the Ronald Sandlin and Nathaniel DeGrave case, who conspired to join the deadly January 6th attack on Congress. Jeff German tells us why law enforcement in Las Vegas are concerned now more than ever.
All the people with grievances out there on social media who are just sort of acting on their own or joining in with a group when they stage a protest here. So it's a lot more complicated for law enforcement these days.
For more on these findings, log on to lvrj.com. Jen?
Thanks, Renee. Now to your business news, sponsored by the Vegas Chamber. Executives still aren't sure how much the MSG Sphere will cost when it's completed in 2023, but big strides are being made. Officials announcing today that a 170-ton steel compression ring weighing almost as much as 2 planes was put in place. This ring will help support the domed roof. The MSG Sphere will be a 17,000-seat entertainment venue, the first of its kind, with a price tag of more than $1.6 billion. That is right, billion with a B. In other business news, this laid-off bartender has seen some success after forging a new career path due to the pandemic. Matthew Williams fueled his passion for board games, turning his hobby into a business. His company, TGG Games, came out with a new board game called Mob Big Apple on Kickstarter, and it has already surpassed $30,000 with around 1,000 fans backing the project.
Well, I'm a big nerd at heart, so I really enjoy any type of gaming. I really, I'm kind of winning all over the place with that.
Congrats to you, Matthew. Now it's time for your weather, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino and Spa. Looks like we're starting off the week warm and sunny, highs in the high 60s today, and we can expect temps tonight to cool off to the mid-40s. Although the next couple of days are looking to jump up to the mid-70s, with some strong winds to look out for on Wednesday. And for the rest of the week, we're in the low to mid-60s.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. With a sports update, I'm Cassie SOTO. Golden Knights fans will soon be able to attend games at T-Mobile Arena. The Golden Knights have been approved to host limited capacity crowds starting March 1st. 15% capacity, about 2,600 fans, will be allowed at games beginning with next week's series versus the Minnesota Wild. Speaking of fans, multiple basketball championships set to be held in Las Vegas this March will be played without fans. The Big West and Mountain West conferences announced on Monday that their tournaments will be conducted without spectators, which includes the general public as well as family and guests of team personnel. Now here's the latest in sports betting. William Hill Sportsbook posted NFL division odds over the weekend. The Raiders are the plus 750 third choice to win the AFC West, meaning a $100 wager would pay $750 if they win their division next season. The Kansas City Chiefs are minus 400 favorites to win their sixth straight AFC West title, and the Los Angeles Chargers are the 6-1 second choice. The Denver Broncos are 20-1 long shots.
Thanks, Cassie. In your health news, sponsored by 4M Dental, love your smile again. State officials announcing today that text messages will be used to let Nevadans know of their COVID test results. Those texts will provide a link to the web portal to view their results. If positive, there are contact tracing apps. Go to covid.nv.gov for more information. In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Get Healthy, Clark County, we want to remind you not to feed the wildlife at parks in Las Vegas. As the weather is warming up, more people are expected to head outside, and as much fun as it is to feed the ducks and other wildlife, Las Vegas officials say human food is not healthy for them, and duck feces have become a widespread problem. Plus, you could face a $10 fine. In your entertainment news, sponsored by Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Britney Spears' future as a live performer is under question, which has led to even more support for the Free Britney movement. The New York Times documentary called Framing Britney Spears looks at her success and the controversial conservatorship she has been under since 2008. Spears fans are rallying behind her and hope for Britney Spears' domination to return to the Strip. Plus, Clint Holmes is returning to the stage and embracing who he is at the same time. Review Journal's Johnny Katz tells us more.
Clint Holmes, a headliner for 2 decades in Las Vegas, is going to be back on stage March 6th at 3 p.m. for the Regeneration series. He's co-starred with Tom Schumann of Spyro Gyra, showcasing new singers and returning to a new approach. He's got gray hair, a gray beard, and a new lease on his life.
Thanks, Katz. That's it for today's 7 at 7 p.m. from the Las Vegas Review Journal. I'm Jen Ah. We know you're busy, so we've built a newscast to fit your lifestyle. Catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Alexa, and so much more. And be sure to stay tuned for 7 at 7 a.m. as well. Good night.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.